The sun's been doing a good job of choking out the smoke, but when night starts to come, the ash falling from the sky looks like rain. A long time ago, there used to be dragons. They'd been around for so long that people stopped caring about them. But when the biggest one up north started to grow close to death, things began to change. Smoke came from its mouth, and the smoke rained down on nearby villages, killing all the crops that they had. These villages relied on those crops to make a living, and they thought losing them was a big problem, so they decided to go up north and kill the soul dragon themselves and harvest its meat to make up for all the crops that they'd lost. The dragons down south didn't like that their friend up north had died, so in retaliation they began torching the forests that they called home. Most of the trees and creatures that they'd loved for many years went up in flames in protest for their friend who'd been killed by the people that it loved for so many years. So to fix this problem, the people up north came down south and killed these dragons too. Scientists still aren't sure exactly what it was, but there was a gas in the bodies of the dragons that was really bad for the earth. Nature had come up with a way to make it so that when the dragons started to die, all the gases stored up in their bodies would break down naturally and not do any harm to the environment. When the people from up north stabbed the dragons through their heart, everything inside of them came out and went straight up into the air. Everybody in the first few northern towns who tried eating the meat of the dragon to make up for lost crops came down with a virus that made their limbs stiffen so hard that you could hear their bones crack. Most of the south got the message not to touch the dragon's meat, but the people in the east didn't have any dragons, so they didn't really care. The people from the west tried moving to the east to get away from the coalition of smoke that was forming, but the further out they moved, the less progress they seemed to be making. Over time, they found out that the smoke had slowly started to cover the entire earth, and the death rattle of the dragons could be felt for years to come. Everywhere, crops started to die, and nobody had enough food for anything anymore, really. People who had left the big cities never went back, and we're not really sure what happened to most of them. Some people still live there, getting by on what they can find. Some people think that the dragons are going to come back someday, but I don't think they will. We killed them a long time ago, and the smoke's all we have left.